What's up, guys? We're over here at Attorney Port in Babers, Georgia. We had fun Sunday. Rashad, what did you bring to the table?
I actually didn't play this deck today, but I should have because it's really fun. This deck sucks. It's pretty bad, but it's really fun.
What is the deck?
It's a Sin Mill.
What?
So next set, this deck's gonna be pretty decent in my opinion. It's not bad. So what the leader does on the front, he's got blocker. When he attacks, you discard a Shadow Dragon card from your hand and draw. And we'll go into that later, like while that's good on the front side. But then he untaps at the end of the turn.
What's his backside doing?
So also he has this on the front. So when you activate an extra card, your opponent mills one from the top of their deck. You do two. You can awaken 4 or less life, untap one, draw one. Or if you have 7 Shadow Dragons in the drop, you can awaken. So you can potentially awaken at like 5 life.
I like them secondary awaken skills.
It's pretty nice. So on the back, you still got blocker. Now, when he attacks, you don't discard, you just draw, and he gains 5k and untaps. So it's a 20k leader swing, which is nice. Like, 20k leader swings are always really nice. Same thing with the extra cards. You activate one, you and your opponent mill one. He's got a once per turn, activate main/battle, spirit boost one, and you can play one of your Shadow Dragon extra cards without paying its energy cost. So that's the most important part of the leader, is the spirit boost part. So that's the leader, and then
we're going to the heart of the deck.
Going into the battle cards. So I play 4 of the Sim promo. All of these Shadow Dragon battle cards have this skill. When they're pitched by a Shadow Dragon effect, you flip the top card of your deck. If it's a Shadow Dragon, you add it to your hand. And when they're played, you do the same thing. So on the front, you want to try to pitch battle cards so that you draw, and then you flip the top for your leader, and you get 2 cards basically out of that interaction. So the whole deck is Shadow Dragon, so everything you play is going to add you a card. But this dude also has the Spirit Boost once per turn, which is why we play 4 of this. Like, the Spirit Boost is really good. So that's all he does. Next, we play 4 of the Haze 1-drop. All the autos are exactly the same, so I'm not going to keep going over them. Activate main once per turn, pay a black, switch in the rest mode, play a Shadow Dragon card, energy cost 3 or below from your hand. So that's why we play that. And next is 4 of the Naturon 1-drops. When he's played, you add a Shadow Dragon extra card from your drop to your hand. So he's like recycle engine. So you have to play that because you mill yourself, and sometimes you'll mill the ones you want, or you might need one for next turn since they're all activate main/battle. So you can do them on both players' turns. Next, we play the Big Sins. This one, limit 1. When you spirit boost, you can pay a black. He comes in, he mills your opponent 1, and then of course he has the same auto where you look at the top. So he replaces himself, mills your opponent 1, and he's a double strike that comes in for 1.
And all these mills add up, guys.
Yeah, these mills do add up after a while. And also he is a 3-drop, so if you don't want a spirit boost, you can play him off the haze. So this end, you can't cheat this out, which like really sucks. Because if you can cheat this card out, I think the deck will be a lot better. You have to actually just tap 4 for this card. It's deflect, barrier, blocker, double strike.
That's probably the reason why you couldn't cheat. Look at all them effects they put on that bad boy.
Of course, he replaces himself. He's got a once per turn, activate main/battle, spirit boost 1, untap him and mill your opponent 1 card. So like, you use this when you're like pressuring. Like when I play this deck, you can let's have 2 of these and 1 of this, and that's 2, 4, 5 double strikes right there alone. Like that is honestly pretty good because they're 20k double strikes, which are 20k leader swing. If your opponent's not having like a beam type effect, that's like a lot of cards they gotta invest to get out of these dudes.
Yep.
And also, you activate an extra card for free once you spirit boost him. So you'll swing, spirit boost him, untap him, activate an extra card. You'll mill him for their skill. You'll mill him for the extra card. So it's just like another way to mill. And since it's activate main/battle, you can block with him on your opponent's turn. Spirit boost, untap him, they mill 1. You got a double blocker that just keeps milling. So you really need him to actually mill your opponent out. And then the last Shadow Dragons I play right now, which this is definitely going to change. I'm just going to cut this one out altogether. The Haze is going to go to 4. It's the other target that you play off the 1-drop Haze. This is the best one to play. This one is when he's played from your hand, you can take one of your opponent's battle cards 5 or less from their board or drop, and he gets one of the skills from it. And he's a deflect blocker. So that's the only reason I played him, was because he was another blocker with deflect. You really don't ever get anything meaningful when you take it. So I'm just going to take him out and go for this. This one's a critical blocker. And when he attacks, you warp any one of your opponent's battle cards. It doesn't ignore barrier, but there's no energy cap on it. So you can remove like really good cards when he swings, and then he untaps at the end of the turn. So it's another blocker you have, and he's like constant removal, whereas this is potentially a one-time removal, or if they have like a double strike card in the drop, like you'll have him to take the double strike, and you might be able to like swing for game on him or something. Since he's got deflect, he's generally safe to be played. So that was why I played him, but it wasn't really worth. So, and then we played 3 Oceanus in here. Oceanus is like super good in this deck. She's like a good generic card in most decks, but in this deck, she's a Shadow Dragon. She has that replacement effect, and if you pitch a battle card, it has that replacement effect. So your Oceanus isn't a -2, like you don't get a body and then discard. You get a body, and then you plus 2 cards off the top of your deck. Plus she's a blocker with that mill effect in the mill deck. So it's extremely strong in this deck. Like once she hits the board, you plus and get a blocker, and your opponent's probably going to pass since you're actually milling. So they're actually at a risk of getting milled out here, whereas like the other decks that just play it just to play it because it's a generic one.
It's a safety net in other decks versus in this deck.
Most of the time, you're just going to die. Like, they're going to kill you through Oceanus in the other deck. People will not, like, take the Oceanus challenge in this deck because you're, constantly milling them 1 or 2 cards
every
over
turn.
And over and over. So, like, they add up really fast. So, they usually just won't do it in this deck. Then, of course, the super combo you play for this deck is the Oceanus because she's searchable by some of the extra cards, or one of the extra cards, and then she's a Shadow Dragon, so you want to pick her up off the top and all that stuff.
You'll find her.
And yeah, you're going to find her. Every game I've tested this deck, I've had all 4 super combos in my hand by like turn 3. She has the limit 1 skill where if you Spirit Boost your Unison, you'll put her on a Unison to draw and give it a marker. But you use that a lot in this deck because you Spirit Boost all the time. Because you have to tap out for the the good Shinrun card, so you need the Spirit Boost to play extra cards. So you use this like primarily. At least 1 or 2 of these are going to go to your Unison. And speaking of Unison, we play the Tele Unison because she's the only good one for the deck. You mill yourself way faster than you mill your opponent because literally every battle card you play replaces itself. So her auto is when your leader activates blocker, she gets a marker. It's not once per turn, and there's a Shadow Dragon coming out next set where you combo it and untap your leader. So you can potentially give her more markers with your leader. I'm not going to play that card in my new build because I don't think it's worth to take damage just to save the Unison. Her +1, you draw a card, bottom deck a card from your hand, choose up to 3 Shadow Dragon extra cards from your drop, put them on the bottom of the deck. So that's how you counteract milling yourself out as fast, is you use her +1. Her -7, you play a Shadow Dragon with a different name for set up to 7 of them with different names from your hand or drop. So you can mix both. It's really hard to do that because of how much you have to Spirit Boost. So like you have to kind of get lucky to ever pull that part off. And it sucks right now anyway because there's only 4 names. So like the only Oceanus target is either this one or the super combo. And then there's like literally only 2 Naturons, 2 Hazes, and then 3 Sins. So there's not many options you have.
Until we get to set 15.
Yeah. The next set, the -7 is going to be like balling. But like right now, you're probably going to bring this back. You're probably going to bring this back. You're going to bring back... Like that's also the other reason I played the other Naturon, just in case, so I could have a decent card to bring back. Yeah. He won't get a skill because he's not played from hand. But it's just like an option. But yeah, it's not worth it. You never get the -7. And then on to the extra cards. So we play 4 Negative Energy Explosion. What Negative Energy Explosion does is activate main/battle. All of them have limit 1. They all have the permanent that makes them a Shadow Dragon in all areas. That's how you get to like add them off your deck. So you look at top 7. If you don't have a Unison, you can play a Unison on 1 marker, or you just add an extra card to your hand. And then the leader skill, of course, you and your opponent are going to mill one when you activate it. I play 4 bullets right now because it's like heavy Unison format. And it's like a dormant, in a sense, if your opponent's playing a Unison. They either take a marker off their Unison for every 2 cards in their drop, or they can only attack 1 more time for the turn. And then you and your opponent will mill 1. It's got to activate main/battle. Your opponent chooses... That's the bad part. Your opponent chooses one of their battle cards with an energy cost greater than the... less than the amount of cards in their drop. So, like, mid to late game, this hits, like, every battle card. If it doesn't have barrier, but then the opponent choosing part is like what kills it, so it's not really good against the second swarm. But if you have the 3-drop haze, you're like constantly removing stuff, so you can kind of narrow it down to where you hit the important stuff with it. but it's mostly for the counterplay on the unison right now. And then it's still a good removal skill if they only have one. Like if they combo out on a swing on a battle card, and they combo their whole board off with it. This is like a spirit boost, and stop that. So still play 4 of that one. I played 3 Quake. Quake is decent. It's only good like early game, really, or decks that don't like cheat cards out. It's like really bad against those decks. So of course it's got the same limit 1, same permanent, activate main/battle. You choose one of your opponent's cards with an energy cost greater than their energy, send it to the warp. If they've got 15 or less cards in their deck, it'll go to the drop at the end of the turn. Otherwise, it comes back at the end of the turn. So it's like in testing against like decks that play Gogeta Authority, it's like good against those because you just stop the Gogeta triple attack for that turn, and then it comes back, and usually that's like the only thing they have left, and you just bullet it on the following turn, or you can just bullet it in battle if they just tap out for it and didn't have anything else. But it's like the other backup option, and you also just need different extra cards because they're all limit 1. And then I play 2 Ultimate Dragon Tackle. This one is like the best but the worst. Either your opponent has to mill 1 just for you activating this one, like in its text, so it's a mill 2, but they have to have a unison in play for you to activate it. So if they don't have a unison, then like you literally just can't activate this one. So what it does is they mill 1, and then they either remove 2 markers off their unison, or you draw and you warp one of their battle cards. So it's another removal card. Usually they don't want to remove the markers off their unison if they're playing unisons because they want to spirit boost them. So like that's why we just play 2 of that one. And then I play 2 Ultimate Whirlwind Spins. I was playing 4 of this, but most decks right now like just don't care about the extra 1,000 power. And like you go through enough cards already, you're going to see the battle cards you want. So what it does is you look at the top 5 cards, you add a battle card to your hand. And then her secondary effect is after you do that, you can discard a card from your hand, and your leader gets plus 1,000 power for the turn. So to make him 16k, so it makes sure like little weenie stuff can't hit him, but like there's not really much weenie stuff going around right now. And so like sometimes you'll discard like just one of your battle cards with the secondary effect just to like scry and get another card if you think you need another card. So it's not bad in that sense, but that is like the only reason we play it. Like there's not many battle cards. You really just desperately need to search. And you go through your deck so fast, like the unison really can't keep up with Sopity from decking out a lot. I've decked myself out more than I've moved my opponents out, I think, at this point. So most of the time,
that's like a double-edged sword when it comes to that mill.
It is. So I'm gonna bump this to 60 cards because like your whole deck just gets added to your hand all the time. So you just mill yourself out so fast.
You think it's gonna be easy to get to 60 when we have like more Shadow Dragon options, right?
So I've already got a build that I've made with the new stuff, and it's at 60 cards because like you kind of have to play 60 for real. The new stuff is like really good, and this deck is one of the few decks that doesn't get its consistency clogged by 60 because literally every card you play outside of these 4 unisons. Okay, so the 4 unisons aren't Shadow Dragons, so they go to the bottom and they're revealed. But the chances of you like consistently hitting a unison is slim to none, especially because once you hit 1, it's on the bottom, and you want to open 1 anyway. So you'll just be playing cards, flipping the top, adding it to your hand. Like you just dig through your deck so fast. So I feel like it has to go to 60. Even right now, I'm just gonna like bump up the extra cards and stuff to make it 60 right now, because I've been like milled myself out so many times. It's become like an aggro deck for me now, basically, where you just kind of like
you want to end them before you get milled.
Mill was like the back strategy to try to like hit their super combos and like their good battle cards and stuff. It's like what the mill has been for now, just like a mini disruption effect. But really, you're just trying to like spam as many of these and the double strike Shenrons out.
The 4 drops.
And then you just want to kind of like just keep swing, untap, swing, and then like you're milling them at the whole time. So they're probably going to like try to draw some cards to keep up, and then like you can mill them out that way. Like I have milled quite a few people out so far testing this deck. But right now, as it is, you're going to have more luck trying to kill your opponent than mill them out.
Then once we have the set 15, we'll definitely make an update video.
I will update this deck as soon as I get all the stuff for set 15, because I probably will main this deck when that comes out, because I just play everything black, as y'all know by now. I literally just play everything black, and I love Sin. And the black Sin looks way cooler than the yellow one, so we're just going to play this one.
Sin del Negra.
Also, one tech card that I will talk about in this video is this haze. You can't search it with anything because it's not black,
But
it is a Shadow Dragon card still. So when you discard any of your Battle Dragons to pop one of their cards, you still flip the top card because it just started by a Shadow Dragon skill. So it makes Haze not a -1 or -2 when you do them. So you'll combo them, you'll pitch like just any battle card. You'll pop their card, and then since this was discarded by a Shadow Dragon, you'll flip the top card of your deck. As long as it's not a unison, you'll get it to your hand. So it helps you kill big stuff. So I saw this right now against like decks that'll go big, and it helps you kill big stuff, and like also it doesn't feel as bad because you're replacing your cards while you're doing it.
good old Haze.
And that's it for now, guys. I'm really excited to update the deck in the future, and I'll probably do a gameplay on it in the future. And that was all I have for you today.
All right, we got anything else we want to talk about before we sign out?
I'm gonna give a shout out to Will at Eternity's Portal as always.
Hey guys, how you doing? They're over here, and these guys are great players. Check them out. Check out all their other web shows and podcasts and all that good stuff.
Thanks, Dad.
No problem.
All right, so yeah, I always give a shout out to the locals because if it wasn't for our locals, we wouldn't have anywhere to play. I love everybody here. We're like family. We're close. If you're ever in the area, come down, play some games with us. And that was all I had.
Take care.
Peace.
Go pay.